If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors according to Indeed data and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. And Indeed doesn't just help you hire faster. 93% of employers agree Indeed delivers the highest quality matches compared to other job sites, according to a recent Indeed survey. With Indeed, everything hiring is all in one place, and it makes it so easy. Leveraging over 140 million qualifications and preferences each day, Indeed's matching engine is constantly learning from your preferences. The more you use Indeed, the better it gets. Join the more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/podcast. Just go to Indeed.com/podcast right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Indeed.com/podcast. Need to hire? You need Indeed.
Hello, everyone in podcast listening land. I'm Karen Devaney.
And I'm Ann Varner.
And we're sisters.
Welcome to Sugar Coated Murder, where we'll discuss
and probably inappropriately laugh about and comment on.
Yep, one of our favorite subjects,
murder. Oh, and we love to bake. And why not combine our two favorite subjects?
Baking
and killers.
Welcome to my home.
And welcome to our bourbon tea.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Cheers.
Cheers.
To that.
Yes. So guys, we are enjoying some of our hot toddy, which is our tiger tea. Mm-hmm. Some of our Katie honey.
Yeah.
Some of our very good, yummy 1792 bourbon.
Yes. And a little dash of lemon.
And a little splash of lemon.
So delicious.
And it's delightful.
And y'all are not going to believe what I have in the oven.
Oh my gosh, it smells so flipping good.
Oh,
when you walk in here, it smacks you right in the face.
It's an apple bourbon bundt cake.
Girl, don't say bourbon.
I will.
Say it again.
There's bourbon in the cake, and then when you bring it out of the oven, you put holes in the top of it, and you pour more bourbon on top.
Don't try to propose marriage to me. I'm already married.
That's gross.
Well, I'm just saying, really that's marriage cake, if you ask me.
Now, I will say the cake is a labor of love, which is why you don't hear me actually in the kitchen moving around, because I did a lot of prep work on that and felt like maybe I should just go ahead, get in the oven, because it takes an hour and 10 minutes to cook.
Yeah, we're going to want to taste that
And
sucker.
after an hour and 10 minutes, I'm still not even sure if it'll be done because there's so much apple in this cake.
It's so exciting. How many apples did you use?
So it's 1.5 pounds, and my scales were broken. So your average pound is like 3 apples. I put in 5.
Oh, wow. You go, girl.
But part of the apples you coarsely chop in a food processor, of which I have a miniature food processor. So that took some time.
Yes.
And then the rest of it you cut into little pieces.
Okay.
Then you also, it calls
peel
for...
off, peel on.
Peel off.
Thank
I
God.
never, ever,
I don't
ever
like getting that stuff stuck up in my
on.
teeth.
I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy it one single solitary
Even with
bit.
bourbon, I don't like it.
No. I'll eat my apples with the peel on.
I will. That's what
but
I do.
do
And
not
other
enjoy
than that,
cooked
the
apple.
only thing it's good for is some good homemade potpourri.
Yeah, I don't like
That's
an apple
it.
peel in my cooked food. So
No.
remember that, people.
Yeah, please remember that when you all start sending us your own baked goods, which we're ready to receive at any moment.
Any minute.
Yes,
Any
just
minute.
let us know.
So it also has coarsely chopped pecans. We had some leftover pecans from our baking at Christmas time.
Yes.
So I used those, and I just chopped them with my handy dandy Pampered Chef food chopper.
I love that thing.
And then you toast them. And no matter what, if you ever have a recipe that calls for nuts,
Even if
toast
it
them.
doesn't say toast your nuts, always toast your nuts, people, because
That's how the
it
flavor
brings
comes
out that flavor.
Right, and if it's in a batter or something, they don't have time to crunch up and really cook, and it brings the oils out.
Yes.
So you really taste the flavor.
It really makes a huge difference.
So there was coarsely chopped apples, regular chopped apples, coarsely chopped pecans, toasted. All of that had to be done prior to. And then you mix together sour cream, 3 tablespoons of bourbon, and vanilla extract into like a little liquid type thing.
Mm.
And in another bowl, you do your flour, nutmeg, cinnamon, and sea salt. Of course, it calls for fine sea salt. I have a sea salt grinder, and I just use that. And I didn't
I'm sure it was fine.
A half a teaspoon quite, because I don't know. I'm picky about. I wasn't quite sure how that ground salt would be as a.
Sometimes it's a little stronger.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Sometimes you just have to, throw caution to the wind. But
That's
anyway,
what we do all the time.
You do your baking powder, baking soda, cinnamon, salt, and flour. You whisk that together. Now, for me, when I bake with apples or nuts, I find that if I don't put a little flour on the apples and nuts,
they sink.
They sink to the bottom, and I like mine to not be all at the bottom.
I like a good dispersing.
So I just take a little handful of my flour mixture and mix it in with my apples and pecans just to
dust them. You're just dusting them.
And it's not extra. It's just what I had whisked together already, and I used that together. So you do your eggs and your brown sugar and get that nice and fluffy, and then you do eggs, and then you alternate between that bourbon, sour cream, vanilla mix, and your dry ingredients back and forth, back and forth. Now, this hotshot person, whoever wrote this, says to put your KitchenAid on medium while you're adding that stuff in. If you put it on medium and you try to add flour in, even if you have the little cover thing in, flour goes everywhere.
It does.
So for me, I have to turn it off because I am not a professional.
No, we are not a professional.
Yeah. So then you mix all of that stuff together, and it comes out to this beautiful, fluffy batter filled with nuts and apples.
How does the sour cream bourbon mixture get in there? Where does that go?
That's your wet. You alternate wet and dry.
And are the eggs in there?
The eggs you did after the butter and brown sugar.
Okay.
Yeah. So you do the butter and brown sugar for 5 minutes until it's fluffy.
Okay.
And it will turn colors. Then you do the eggs one at a time. Mm-hmm. Then you alternate between your sour cream, bourbon, vanilla, and your back and forth. And then you're going to fold in your apples and your pecans.
Yes.
Put that all together, and it has to go into. And it says a Bundt pan. For me, I used a tube cake, like a.
It's fine.
I wouldn't call it a Bundt cake. What do you call that? A fluted pan, but it's not rounded.
Right. It's just not, a pound cake pan.
Yeah, yeah. And our mother used to have, I know you remember this, but the best pan for that growing up, it had a little lever that was attached to the bottom, went all the way up the side, and when you were ready to take your cake out of the pan, you just took that little lever and you spun it around. Yeah. And it loosened the cake for you.
It was so nice.
Everywhere.
I know, you can't find them. Because it was nice because it went all the way to the bottom of the pan. Yes. So it was up the side and the bottom.
Yeah, and then you
just kind of spun that around, and then you didn't
scratch your pan.
No.
And you didn't. Came out beautifully.
Every time.
Every time.
It was just the inside part that you might have a challenge with.
Yeah.
But ours had scratches all. You could see where we had scratched it, but it was a great
made such a big difference in the world that
yes.
and I miss it.
Oh, me too.
I'm sure if we start looking in consignment stores,
we'll
they'll probably
find one. Yeah, hopefully.
Made me real sad yesterday. I was in a little consignment flea shop type store, and they had albums from when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm. It's so sad.
It's an antique store now.
That's an antique. Are you sure?
Okay.
It's so sad.
So anyway, you put all of this stuff into your tall fluted pan.
Yeah.
But you do grease and flour the sides. Now, I tried to use the baking spray that's got the flour and stuff already in it, but for that type of pan, I'm really not good at it. Mm-mm. So I had to scrap that, wash the pan, and start over. And I did do unsalted butter and flour. I did regular butter and flour.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And anyway, you stick that in the oven. It takes about an hour and 10 minutes to bake, which is where we are. It should be done in like maybe 8 minutes. We'll see. It's a very thick cake, so it may take a little bit of extra time. Mm-hmm. But it is, I think it's going to be worth it because Miss Kitchen smells so amazing. Fun.
Yes.
I found it on a website called Full Circle.
Okay.
FullCircle.com.
We'll put that in the show notes.
Yeah.
And we'll.
And then I'm really excited because once it comes out, you take a half a cup of bourbon, a half a cup of sugar, and 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter, and you cook that on the stove almost like you do brown butter for about 5 minutes until it boils, and it starts to get a little bit thick. Mm. So it'll be like almost kind of caramelly,
like
but not
syrup.
quite as thick as that. When you pull that cake out, as it's cooling, you put 12 slits in the top of it and pour that stuff on top of it.
Shut your flipping
Then
mouth.
once it's cooled and you flip it out onto your cooling rack, you do it to the top too.
That's so smart.
I know. So it meets in the middle. So I'm very excited about how it turns out.
Yeah, me too.
But I'm pooped.
I'm sure you're pooped.
That was a lot.
Well, guys, just in case you haven't, or just in case you're not on the Facebook fan page, by now we have posted our sound check from today, which has a very, very special, exclusive feature.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, if you're not on that fan page and you're not checking it religiously, you're going to miss out on one huge, it's a treat, but it's not just a treat. There is a talent awakening.
It is.
That's all I can say. It's a talent awakening. Yet another talent.
Yes. Oh my God.
That will be on my resume.
And it's because we do a podcast.
And that's just
now
what happens. We're discovering so many things about ourselves
now
that we didn't even know we could do. And it's just the abundance of creativity and talent coming out of these two old broads.
Oh yeah.
Is just exacerbating.
We're not just a couple of broads talking about murder anymore.
Well, we are a couple of broads, but we're doing so much more. We're talking about murder and then some. So just saying, if you're not on that fan page, y'all are missing out. And plus, you're not part of the 160 plus best friends that we have. And so,
we're not straight yet anymore of exactly how many we have.
Well, it's like a revolving door. These people are so fickle.
I know. It's crazy.
I don't know. I just don't even know. Guys, Ann just stopped me and told me that the microphone was actually almost pointing backwards. So I hope that what we just were talking about, and we even did the sound check, and turns out we never even listened back to it. I guess we just checked to make sure we had voices.
Yeah.
And then we kept on going. So we apologize if there's a problem with the beginning, but just go back, turn it up, turn that volume up, and then it'll be worth it. So. Yes. Okay, well, she has just taken that cake out of the oven, and I just got a whiff of heaven. So that's enough to make you go back in time and smack your great-great-great-great-great-great-grandmother.
I need to tell you, girl.
All right, so while you are preparing...
Tell me about your murder.
I have a murder. This murder comes to us from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay, not too far from us.
No, it's even closer than you think.
Oh, Lord.
So this is about a lady named Nikki McPhatter.
Nikki McPhatter.
Yes. So Nikki joined the Navy right out of high school. She was always known for her vivacious, bubbly personality. She was outgoing.
Vivacious,
I know. Bubbly. She was Michael Bublé before he was famous. She was outgoing and friendly, and that enables her to be successful in the Navy and in her job outside of the Navy. Once she ends her service with the Navy, she gets a job with U.S. Airways.
Oh, that's smart.
I know, at the Charlotte airport. As her sister said, Nikki took her love of the sea and turned it into a love for the air. She even loved skydiving. Like, this girl was fearless.
Oh, wow. I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could.
I know for a fact I couldn't do it. I don't even know if I could do it in those wind tunnels that you just really don't leave. I don't, like 10 feet off the ground, that's too much.
Because the wind blows so hard, all the fat.
My jowls would be stuck in the back of my hair. Like, I can only imagine. That's not good. And that, like, why would I loosen my jowls even more? No. Like, I'm going to come out looking like that dog Droopy.
Yes. Oh, Droopy.
Yeah. Or what was his name? Deputy Dog?
Deputy Dog.
Yeah. So I'm not doing that. But good on Nikki, because she was fearless and obviously had tight cheeks and didn't care about her jowls. So, as a ticket agent with U.S. Air, she had lots of friends. And she was certainly always up for an adventure. And she took advantage of her benefits as a ticket agent and often took many impromptu adventurous trips.
Oh, that's fun.
I know. That's got to be the best part of being a ticket agent.
Yeah.
So at age 30, Nikki was longing for a companion to take these adventures with her and to settle down with. She was at the point in her life that she wanted marriage and family, for sure.
Yeah.
In 2009, Nikki was dating a man that she had met via an online dating website.
Oh, dear. Do we know which one?
I don't.
Okay.
No. Theodore Manning lived in Columbia, South Carolina. He was a 27-year-old divorced father of a young daughter. He had a great job, and he seemed to tick a lot of the boxes on Nikki's list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There was just one eensy-weensy little issue.
Oh.
Teddy, as Nikki liked to call him.
Oh, Teddy.
Hey, Teddy. He had what some would call an addiction to the ladies.
Oh, Lord.
I don't see it as an addiction. I see it as him just being a dick.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So throughout their 3-month relationship, he insisted on keeping up his player life activities.
Right, right.
So during the week, Nikki worked in Charlotte at her ticket agent job, and then on the weekends, she would drive to Columbia to spend time with Teddy. On the flip side, during the week, Teddy would work his power plant job in Columbia and continue to date or talk to a growing lineup of lady friends.
Oh, my.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Teddy.
Teddy. Terrible Teddy. All right, so in May of 2009, Nikki told her sister LaToya it just wasn't working and she was going to have to go to Columbia to break up with little Teddy boy.
Oh, Teddy.
He's not behaving.
No.
She also said she had some stuff at his place and wanted to retrieve that and some jewelry that Teddy was supposedly repairing for her.
Repairing?
I guess he could fix jewelry.
Okay.
And one of his talents was fixing jewelry. I don't know. She had left some jewelry with him.
Fixing, does that mean giving it to other ladies?
You know what? That might be what he meant. There might be a communication misstep in there.
Fix this
by giving it away. And she thought fixing it meant giving it back to me in the better condition than when I gave it to you.
Right,
yeah, okay.
Right.
So anyway, so Nikki says that she's got to go to Columbia over the weekend and break up with little Teddy boy. So the next week, LaToya, who lived in Apex, North Carolina, I've been there, couldn't seem to get her sister to answer the phone. Sometimes that would happen, though, when Nikki was off on one of her impromptu adventures, especially like when she was out of the country.
Right.
And LaToya didn't always know. You know, they didn't talk every day.
Yeah.
So sometimes Nikki would just go out, you know, on like a...
What? They were sisters?
Yeah.
They didn't talk every day?
Sure, they didn't even live in the same town.
Lord have mercy.
I don't even know. They weren't real sisters, I guess. They just were pretend sisters.
Oh,
yeah.
No.
So, LaToya figured she would hear from her sister when she got back from some exotic adventure, and she'll hear all about it, you know, when Nikki gets back. Right. So a week goes by, and LaToya instead gets a call from Nikki's boss at U.S. Airways saying Nikki had not reported to work in a week. And they had not heard a week, and they had not heard from her. Don't wait a week.
Late. I'm texting saying, what the hell? You don't have enough respect for me to let me know you're going to be late?
I know, to your job. Yes. In another town. Exactly. I know. I don't know what these people just don't, I don't know. They didn't take the same sister class we took.
I guess not.
So this was highly unusual because up until then, Nikki had perfect attendance at her job. And I got to bow down to her.
Yeah,
that's not easy.
That's not easy.
No, sometimes your job just gets to you and you just accidentally make a wrong turn on the way to work. And then you find yourself in another town drinking coffee and whiskey.
Exactly.
So at this point, LaToya immediately calls police in Charlotte and reports her sister missing.
Right.
Investigators, of course, start questioning Nikki's friends, and they start with her coworkers. So her best friend at work takes police to Nikki's home to start looking around to see what they can find. Nikki was not there, but her laptop was there, and investigators and the friend decided to see if they could find any clues on the laptop.
Yeah.
So the friend was able to guess Nikki's password. I mean, good for the friend, but Nikki probably didn't set really good passwords.
Right.
And she lets the investigators know that she's aware that Nikki had been dating using an online site.
Right.
So she was able to bring up the site and log in as Nikki with Nikki's credentials.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, smart girl. This girl, she needs to go into cybersecurity. Or
do we need to look into her for Nikki's disappearance?
I think Nikki just wasn't real good at,
gotcha.
Good passwords.
Maybe.
Like we're used to 14 characters, and it's
or it could be maybe the friend is the one that set up her online presence.
Probably.
You know?
Yes, that happens.
Sometimes people need a little push. I'm not saying I need a push, so please do not.
Go ahead. Let me know if you need her information.
No.
So anyway, almost as soon as she got onto the website, a chat window popped up and some dude typed, "Nikki, where are you?"
Oh.
So she was like, So the friend and the cop decide to see where it would lead if she typed back as Nikki.
Oh.
So she said, hey, when was the last time we talked? And the guy immediately disappeared. Chat window closed. He was no longer online, but the investigator was able to capture his profile.
Oh, good.
Before. Thank
goodness.
Yes. So they start digging around and they figure out this dude is none other than it's utterly ridiculous. None other than Theodore Manning, Mr. Teddy himself in Columbia, South Carolina.
Oh, Teddy.
So the detectives in Charlotte call some detectives in Columbia because detectives know detectives. And they brief them on the case.
Right.
And the Columbia detectives start searching for Mr. Manning.
Right.
As well as any other clues that might lead to the whereabouts of Nikki McPhatter.
There you go.
So while detectives are looking into Teddy Boy, they were able to look at his phone records. And they see he had communicated with many, many women.
Mm-hmm.
But they also found it curious that the same day Nikki was supposed to be in Charlotte or Columbia, that same day he was texting with some lady named Kendra. So they thought, okay, maybe we need to have a little convo with Miss Kendra.
Right.
So this is the story they got from Kendra.
Oh, wait. At first I thought we were in Atlanta, and I was like, oh, my God, was it Kendra from the Housewives? But
no, we're not in Atlanta. We're not even in Georgia.
We're in South Carolina.
You've started a rumor now. We're going to get, you, Ann, are going to get sued for that. Just know that was Ann saying Kendra. Anyway, wait, her name is not Kendra.
I don't even know.
There's not a Kendra on Atlanta.
No. Watch that show. I don't know.
I don't watch it now, but I used to, and it's no Kendra on there. Sure? So I'm positive it's Kenya.
Oh, Kenya.
Yeah, not Dra. Oh my gosh. Now that's a whole nother wormhole, guys. Okay, this is a story they got from Kendra, and she's in South Kakalaki, by the way. Mm-hmm. So she got a call from Teddy asking her to come over and hang out. When she got there, she found him in the garage working on a friend's Honda.
Oh.
He offered her the rims from the car, but she declined.
Oh.
He then said he needed to take the car and drop it off, so could she follow him and bring him back?
Lord.
And she, of course, said yes.
Of course.
Because later that day, they also did the boom boom.
Oh, my.
She followed him to some remote woods about 20 miles outside of town, and he told her to pull over and wait in a nearby parking lot, so she did. And she waits. He turns down some path into the woods.
Oh, God.
Okay. She's thinking, okay, maybe somebody's back there. So,
is that what you would think?
No, I would get the hell out of there, and I would leave him right behind.
Yeah, I would want to see whose car is this that you're working on,
and
then I
where
would
do they
live?
Yeah,
yeah.
But that's you and I because we have a true crime podcast.
I guess
we don't trust nobody.
Ask questions. Ask lots of questions,
or don't get involved.
Right.
One or the other. So anyway, she says that after a while, she's waiting for him, and all of a sudden she hears this explosion.
Whoa.
Yeah. Soon after the explosion, Teddy appeared and got into the car with her.
Oh.
She said he smelled of gasoline and smoke, and when she asked about it, he told her somebody was burning trash and junk in the woods.
Oh, that makes sense, of course.
She insisted she had no idea who the car belonged to until the police told her about Nikki and the fact that Nikki drives a Honda.
Oh, my Lanta.
She starts to crack a little bit when she fails 2 polygraphs.
Oh, Lord.
Not one, but two mints in one. What was that for?
Doublemint gum.
Doublemint gum. Yes. So anyway, she starts to crack and said, I think I can take you back to where the car got dropped off. So they put her in the squad car. They go back and they arrive at the scene where the car was dropped, and they were horrified at what they found.
Oh, no.
There was indeed a car in the woods that was almost completely burned, completely.
Right.
They could see through the trunk that there were the burned remains of a body.
Oh, Lord.
The only obvious thing that they could figure out about the body was there was clearly a bullet hole in the back of its skull.
Oh, dear.
So at this point, they know they have a burned out car that was actually Nikki's Honda, and they suspect the charred body was Nikki, but because of the condition of the body, they had to wait for dental records so the body could be properly identified.
Yeah, gosh.
But it did give them enough to go and arrest Teddy. And as well as hold Kendra for some more.
Theodore.
Hello, Theo. So, and then they held Kendra for some more questions.
Yeah.
You got some splaining to do.
Yeah.
So, when they found and arrested Manning at his home, they also found a receipt for bleach the same day that was in question at this point.
So he bought it the same day?
So they go to the store where it was purchased, and there is Kendra with Manning buying bleach together. Now, Kendra says that's...
Oh, wait, they went to the video.
They went to the surveillance video.
Gotcha.
Did I not say that right?
No, you didn't say the surveillance video part. I don't think, but it could be
I said they pulled footage from the store.
Got it. I missed it, and then I was like, wait.
They're there?
Yeah.
Kendra is the...
I got it now.
Kendra and Teddy, Kendra's the side piece.
Right.
She and Teddy were buying bleach together.
Oh,
she says, oh, yeah, but that was just for my home cleaning.
No, it wasn't. Liar.
No, we don't believe nothing.
No.
They also find blood spatter on the ceiling of Manning's bedroom wall.
Oh, my.
So I guess the bleach couldn't reach all the way up there
to
the ceiling. I don't
know.
Like
a Swiffer sponge they could reach.
I guess not. They don't have nothing.
Like
they don't got
Mr. Clean bars on a stick or something.
It's not anything.
Anything.
Just find something.
Right.
Yeah. No, they didn't. They didn't think about it. They didn't look up.
Lazy.
They were too busy cleaning the floor and the wall, I'm sure.
And doing the boom boom.
And did the boom boom in that room.
Lord have mercy.
How gross. That's gross.
It is gross.
Okay, so at Kendra's house, they find Nikki's purse and $80 in cash that Kendra said Manning gave her, but she had no idea where it came from.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Well, that was a lie because police also obtained ATM footage of Manning trying to use Nikki's bank card and sitting right next to him in the car is little old Kendra.
For heaven's sake.
Yeah, that little boom boom. So, at this point, police figured that at the very least, Kendra helped in the crime scene cleanup and the disposal of the body in the car.
Right.
Of course, Manning tells them that Nikki came to his house and started an argument with him. And she pulled a gun out of his bag.
Oh.
She pulled his gun out of his bag.
That makes sense.
And they struggled, and the gun accidentally discharged into the back of her head.
Ricocheted off of something and hit
I guess
the
that
back
ceiling.
Of the head.
Yeah, exactly. When you're struggling for a gun, it typically doesn't turn around and shoot you in the back of the head.
Are you sure?
Well, I've never struggled with a gun. Truth be known. Truth be known, guys, I have not.
Truth is out. You don't struggle with guns.
I don't struggle, no. But somehow she was shot in the back of the head. Did he call 911? No, he called his booty call, Kendra. Yes. But he also said that he said Nikki just could not accept that we were friends with benefits, and she was always pushing him to be more, and she had a very violent temper. Now, not one person that they interviewed anywhere in her whole entire gambit of people that she was in contact with at that airport, her family, her friend, nobody ever said she was an angry person.
Right.
They said she was friends with everybody.
Yes.
And that she was friendly and vivacious. She was, and not only that, but she was a skydiver.
Right.
Happy people skydive.
Happy people.
Not angry people.
You wouldn't.
Well, I would have just assumed.
I know people.
Yeah, I do too, but I don't know any. I don't know any angry people that skydive. I know people that have skydived, and I know angry people. But the people that I know that skydive, they're not angry.
I think I know somebody that's angry that skydives.
Okay, well then there goes that.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, you're just shooting bullets all through my stuff. Anyway,
no, just that one thing. That was it.
That's true. So anyway, we think that his whole explanation is a bunch of malarkey.
Right.
So then Manning tried to blame Kendra for being the mastermind of the cleanup and disposal of the car and the body.
Of course.
Yes. But Kendra was willing to take a deal. The first one to talk walks.
That's right.
And she testified against Manning. So when the case finally goes to trial, the prosecution pushes for premeditated capital murder.
Right. Oh, that's a big one.
That's a big one. The verdict of guilty was returned, but only for voluntary manslaughter.
What?
They still were trying, they bought off on it was a crime of passion situation. Like, that's bullshit.
Yeah, but
I think it's a load of bullshit.
You gotta prove beyond a reasonable doubt.
I know, but I don't like it. I don't like it. He was sentenced to 30 years.
That's it.
In South Carolina, you have to serve 85% of your sentence.
30 years doesn't seem like enough.
No.
Taking someone's life.
So 85% of the 30 years means he has to serve 25 and a half years before he gets any chance of release.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a lot to me.
No, not for somebody's life.
No. And he burned her body. Like, what about desecration of a human corpse?
Right.
And just being a
Dumbass.
douche.
Yeah.
Like, that has to play into it. Like, 5 years for being a douche.
Yeah.
So anyway, Kendra served less than 2 years.
Oy.
And her charge was accessory after the fact.
Wow.
That was part of her deal, which is a little frustrating. So, but I think when Manning gets out of prison, Kendra is going to be serving a life sentence of fear. Because he's probably going to come for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a feeling. I mean, they were boom buddies, but that's all.
Yeah.
He threw her right under the bus.
Well,
and she threw him under the bus.
Yeah.
And they were busting each other.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway. So LaToya, Nikki's sister, says that she accepts the verdict for both people. Because she says it's all you can hope for when the victim has no voice. Right. Which is true. And it's so sad.
It is sad.
She also said that she forgives Manning and Kendra because holding on to hate will only hurt her and keep her from finding peace. Yeah, so I have decided that I will hold hate in my heart for them, for her.
That's so kind.
I know, because that's the kind of person I am. No, I think it is. I think she'd be like, thank you so much. I need somebody to hate him, but it can't be me.
Right.
And so I'm willing to do it.
Aren't you nice?
I know.
Wow.
That's the kind of person I am because I'm a podcaster.
Oh my God. Yet another thing we can do.
I know. So yeah, that's my
that
story.
That story was amazing.
It was amazing and very tragic. I feel really bad because this Nikki, I mean,
the
pictures
like
of
her
to
break up with somebody.
You should take a buddy.
Take a buddy. Or just
and do it somewhere public.
Do it the old-fashioned way over the phone.
I agree. And you know what? Here's the thing. If your jewelry and your clothes are still at his house, write it off as a loss and keep going. Yeah. It's not worth it.
No.
So, and he actually had a violent past, and she probably didn't know this, but 10 months before, he had served some time in jail for choking an ex-girlfriend.
What?
Yeah. Well, but she probably didn't do her homework. Because a lot of people don't. But I do homework.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I do homework on anybody that my daughter comes in contact with.
Yeah.
So, just know, if you know my daughter and I know your first and last name, I have run your name through the court system more than once.
Exactly.
And if you're any kind of a new friend of my son's or even an old friend getting back in touch after many, many years, if I know anything about you, your name has been run through the court system just to find out who are you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Don't even, and if you pet my dog and I don't know you, I'm going to ask for your name and number, and I'm going to probably run you through the court system.
And I think it's brilliant.
Yeah.
We do it. We do it.
We have to do it. Of course.
You
yes,
have to do
you
it.
have to do it. And every once in a while, I run myself through the court system just to make sure I didn't do something I don't remember.
I need to check and make
I have
sure
a really bad memory, so just in case somebody said I did something and I don't remember.
No.
So anyway, that's my murder.
Oh wow! All right, so let me tell you about the cake.
Peace be with you, Nikki and LaToya. Yeah.
Pulled it out of the pan. I flipped it because it was still hot onto a paper plate, and then when I went to pull the paper plate off of it, because for whatever reason I didn't want it on the paper plate, the cake split in half. So
it's okay.
But it's okay.
Oh, it's going to be such a cute picture, though. We'll make it work.
Oh yeah,
we'll make it work. Yeah.
And then I put the icing stuff on the top. Something that you really need to remember with this recipe: once you make that syrup, it needs to go on your cake, because if it sits, it turns into a solid, nasty something.
A goop.
Right. And that's not good.
And you don't want bourbon goop. I mean, seriously though, any kind of bourbon is fine with me.
Yeah.
Even if it's a goop. But I would just eat it.
Cool a little bit more, and then it'll be ready for tasting.
I'm so excited.
I know, and they do say you can serve it with Whipped cream or ice cream? I happen to have some vanilla ice cream.
Well, I'll be damned. I'm feeling it. I'm here for it. I've had one little triangle of a leftover quesadilla today for my whole entire day.
Oh, wow. Bless your little heart.
I've had a lot of water, and I've had some tea, and I had 2 cups of coffee today. That's probably why I haven't eaten very much.
Yeah.
Because I usually just am a 1 cupper.
Yeah.
So that's probably why I haven't been hungry. But suddenly, Suddenly? I smelt that cake, and I said, oh, I hungies.
Hungies.
I was very, very hungry.
I was very hungry.
So, tell us about your moida.
All right.
More moida.
My moida takes place in Columbus, Wisconsin.
OMG, Columbus. Look at us, how connected we are. It's almost like we're related.
It's ridiculous.
It's redunculous. Redunkadunk.
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 Quadunkadunk.
Okay.
All right. So
that's the bourbon talking.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff talking right now. Lane McIntyre just finished up
his... Sounds like a brand of clothing.
It does, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. He just finished his shift work at the paper plant in Columbia. He worked the 11 to 7
Columbia
shift.
Where?
Wisconsin.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know if it was Ohio, but it's not. It's Wisconsin. Okay.
Yep, he gets off. He can't wait to go home and get in the warm bed because evidently it's really cold in Wisconsin.
Evidently.
He gets home, and the first thing he notices is that his dog is chained up outside, which is really strange. They never chain their dog up.
Well, hello. Let's don't leave our dogs out in the cold.
Right. They never do that, which is why he's alarmed.
I would be quite alarmed.
Yeah.
And upset for my dog.
Yeah, so he walks in the house to ask his wife what the hell with the dog.
He said, what the hell?
Well, he walked in the door and found his wife laying on the floor with a knife sticking out of her chest.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I don't think the dog did it.
No, and she was definitely dead.
Oh no.
And she was a new mother. So they had a little 3-month-old baby. Oh. And he runs into the baby's room, and thankfully the baby is in the crib asleep, unhurt.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Talk about a heart stop.
I know. Not a good way to come home from work.
No.
So in a panic, and this happened in March of 1980.
Oh,
so in a panic, he picks up the phone. The only phone he remembers is his mother's phone number. So he calls his mom and says, Mom, his wife's name is Marilyn. Marilyn is dead. I need you to call the police.
Your dog is just distraught over this murder.
I know, and I don't know what's happening because he got a little extra calm.
It reversed.
And he's had 2 lick holes so far.
Prancing. He is marching up and down with this big cappuccino toy in his mouth. And he is shaking it like a lion shaking a gazelle.
Yeah.
And then he march. Now he's just tossing it, and I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'll take it over the whining.
I know. I don't know.
I can't stand the whining.
I know. All right, back to the story.
Yes, ma'am.
So Lane's mama calls the police, and the police come. They get to the house, and they can tell that in addition to the knife that's sticking out of Marilyn's chest, that she had been brutally beaten.
Oh, my gosh.
Now, Marilyn was just 18 years old.
Oh, my gosh. She was so young. She just had a baby, and she was a baby.
Yep. So police immediately start their investigation. They can see that there was no forced entry into the home. There was blunt force trauma to Marilyn's head.
Ugh. Police
were able to collect some fingerprints, some hair, and some blood from the crime scene.
Okay.
They actually find hair that doesn't match Marilyn's, and there are blood stains in the shape of fingerprints in the bathroom sink. So they take those. But this is 1980, so...
I know.
Limited in what we can do with it.
CSI has not yet hit the airwaves. Right. It's not as I got it.
Right.
I mean, 1980, sugar, I was still in school.
Me too.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago.
It was, I didn't graduate until 1983.
Wow. You're old.
Oh, God, am I ever. You have no idea.
So they start interviewing the neighbors, and one of the neighbors says that the dang dog woke her up at 3 o'clock in the morning. But she did say that has not ever happened since they've lived here.
Right.
So it wasn't something that happened all the time. So now they've got kind of a time frame of, okay, something must have happened around 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
An autopsy reveals that Marilyn had been strangled, beaten, and raped, in addition to her being stabbed. And by the way, she had been stabbed post-mortem. So that was, I mean, what the hell?
Yeah, overkill.
Yeah. 3 days after the autopsy, Marilyn is laid to rest.
Oh, poor thing. Bless her little heart.
Yeah. So investigators start, of course, asking Lane some questions about where he was the night of the murder.
He was at work.
Right.
That's what he said.
That's right. He says he left for work. It was around 10 o'clock. They can verify that he arrived at the plant and started work at 11. He left around 7 to come home. But they cannot account for where he was at work because he worked alone. There was nobody around him, so there was nobody to verify, yeah, he clocked in, and I saw him here, here, and here. And there was nobody who could verify where he was on break.
And back then, the whole world wasn't on a camera.
Right. So he has an alibi, but it's not like 100%
it's a little flimsy.
Ironclad. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So they start to do some investigation into his past and, what he may have been up to. And they do figure out that he had taken out a life insurance policy just 3 days before.
Oh, my God. I'm so pissed. Are you kidding me?
Oh,
just
a minute.
I was just thinking, I always think the husband did it, but right now I don't. And now I do.
Oh, wow. Police start talking to some friends in Marilyn and Lane's friend circle, and they do find out that there was a couple that they were friends with. The guy's name was Curtis Forbes, and the lady's name is Debbie. I can't remember her last name, but it starts.
Let's just say Downer.
Debbie.
Debbie Downer.
Right. And they had been having some problems in their relationship, and Curtis was a little irritated with Marilyn. No, not Marilyn. Was a little bit irritated with
Debbie.
Yeah, Marilyn, because Marilyn was telling Debbie to leave him. Get out of there, to leave him. So he was a little irritated.
It happens.
Police go and they interview Curtis, and he says that he had been out at the bar the night of the murder, and then he went over to his friend Lori's house around 1 o'clock in the morning.
No wonder he and Debbie are having problems.
I know. And then he left there around 2:45 and went to Debbie's house to spend the night. Unfortunately, when Lori talks to police, she says that Curtis did come to her house, but it was at 1 a.m. and he left not even 10 minutes later to go get beer, but then he never came back.
I think I know who did it.
Oh, God. Debbie tells police that Curtis didn't get to her house until 4 o'clock in the morning. So what the hell, Curtis?
And there's a 3 a.m. wake-up call by the dog.
Right.
Because I pay attention.
So back in 1980, what are you going to do? You're going to go back and talk to Curtis and say, hey, there's some holes in your story that aren't making sense.
Can you please fill in the holes?
Yeah, because at this point, they're like, we're pretty sure this guy Lane is responsible because he's the husband and he's got a life insurance policy.
I don't think it's him.
So they go back to talk to Curtis, and lo and behold, Curtis has left Wisconsin.
Well, you dirty dog.
He gone.
Yeah.
He gone. So the DNA evidence that police collected at the scene don't give them any clues on who the killer could be. And the case ends up going cold. I mean, it goes.
I'm sure it does because back then they didn't have DNA testing.
Right.
There was so much that they didn't. Technology just wasn't there to figure this out.
No. So it went cold for 27 years.
Oh my gosh.
27 years.
Poor Lane and that baby.
That's right, Christopher.
Oh, that was his name?
Yeah.
Christopher.
So, but Marilyn's family keeps in touch with the police.
Of course they do.
To keep, like what anything happened.
Yeah.
And it just so happened to be, stop.
Trout is misbehaving, guys. He needs a little bourbon.
Yeah, he should. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, in 2007, Marilyn's niece says, I'm going to call the police department and get an update, see if they have any information. She dials the number, but she dialed the wrong number. Oh. And what she got was the Columbia County Sheriff's Office in Columbus, but the Columbus State Police are the ones that had been handling.
Oh.
Well, the people in Columbia County, which is in Columbus, said, we didn't even realize there was a cold case here. And there were no other cold cases there. So they were like, we're going to take a look at it.
Yes.
See what we can figure out.
That
right?
is fate intervention right there. I love that. That is the hand of God leading you to where you need to be.
Yes.
Girl.
So they open up the file, and there's the DNA evidence sitting right there. And they've got a hair sample from Lane and a hair sample from Curtis. And now we've got DNA testing.
Yeah, we do.
So we're going to take this stuff and see what happens.
We're going to
so
find out who it is.
The first thing they do is they submit Lane's stuff.
Okay.
And then they take that fingerprint that they found in the sink, which happens to be a combination of Marilyn's blood and whoever the killer was.
Okay.
They suspect.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out it was not Lane.
Cool. I told you from the beginning it wasn't Lane.
Right.
So
back in the 80s.
If she had called me, I'd have said, it's not him.
Right.
I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. I'm not.
You are a super sleuth.
I know I am.
So back in the 80s and 90s, door-to-door salespeople were very big.
Yes, they were, as a matter of fact.
Right. And in this particular town, when you had a baby, there was a baby announcement in the paper.
Yes, there
and
was.
When the insurance agent saw the baby announcements, they sent somebody to the door, knock. You have a baby now, you really should get life insurance.
Not only that, but 1982-ish, I'm going to say, I was a door-to-door salesman.
How about that?
I sold encyclopedias.
I remember
door to door.
I remember it.
Not successful at all.
I've often wondered how you didn't die.
I don't know. It was just God's will that I didn't die because I was in some very scary places.
Yeah, but Lane, he didn't kill his wife. And the whole town had suspected him for 27 years.
That sucks that you just you live under that shadow.
Right.
Even though you know in your heart of hearts. I'm sure there were even times where he was like, Jesus, did I do it or not? Like, I don't even know anymore.
Right.
Because people are so mean.
Yeah, and I think he remarried, but he was young.
Yeah,
and
I get it.
People felt it was too quick, but you do things.
And he had a baby.
Time.
He had a baby to raise.
He needed some help.
Yeah.
He needed some help.
Yeah,
so.
in 1980, I don't remember any kind of daycares.
No, there were not a lot.
Mm-mm.
Not a lot. So, now they know it's not Lane, and they're thinking, we got to figure out what the heck Curtis is up to.
Yeah, where is he?
So, they send his hair sample out, and unfortunately, because of the age of the hair, they're not able to 100% say it was him, but he could not be ruled out.
Yeah.
Lane was ruled out.
Right.
Curtis is still, we're like 75% sure at this point it was him.
Okay.
So it turned out too that that Curtis had moved back to Columbus, and he actually had married Debbie, and they were living right there in that town.
And nobody suspected them?
No, I guess not. I guess he waited long enough for it to go cold.
Yeah,
and nobody,
people forgot.
Yeah, and then he came back, and he married Debbie. So they start kind of watching Curtis's comings and goings, but they need some kind of physical evidence. You know, you got to have physical evidence.
They need his DNA.
They need his DNA.
So they need to follow him around.
And they need not just his DNA, but they need his DNA from the crime scene.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, gosh.
Right. So what are you going to do?
Call Ghostbusters?
No, you got to dig up that body.
Oh, no, you don't.
They were really hoping, because back in the 80s, they didn't scrape underneath fingernails for DNA evidence.
Oh, my gosh.
So they said, you know what, we gotta dig that body up and see if there's any DNA.
They said she had been raped. They didn't get any DNA from that?
No, I don't know that there was actual DNA.
Okay.
Like,
she had been sexually
saying?
assaulted, but
Right.
But there was not necessarily any fluids left.
Correct. I mean, for all we know, there was never any, but, you know, just because you go through the act doesn't mean you can complete the mission.
Thank you, Professor.
You're welcome. So, anyway, they're thinking, let's just see what we have. Well, it had been, 27 going on 28 years at this point. They dig up that coffin, and it is sitting in water.
Oh, no.
Yeah, groundwater. So, and it's rusted. Like, it is rusted so bad, they had to use a crowbar to get it open. That's how bad it was rusted. My stomach turns just even thinking about
I don't want
having to be there.
I don't want to be in town when they do that.
I know.
I don't want to be in town.
Well, Lane had given them permission because he said we need closure. We need
I
to
agree.
find out what to do, but he was not there when they.
No, I wouldn't imagine.
He didn't want to know. So they take her body to the medical examiner, and the medical examiner looks at her, body, and unfortunately, all because of the condition of the casket and sitting in water, and it absorbed the water. All of her soft tissue, so her skin, her muscles, like everything was gone.
That makes me a little queasy right now.
I know. Well, let me just get through this really quick.
Please hurry.
Before she passed away, I guess maybe when they were preparing the body, somebody put on press-on nails. They were really popular, remember? Mm-hmm. Now we get the nice gel manicures or the acrylic nails or whatever.
Some people still use the press-ons.
Yeah, but so somebody had put the press-on nails.
Okay.
And they were like, okay, well, it could be that maybe when they put the glue on or whatever, that some DNA stuck in the nail.
That'd be nice.
So they take the tips of some of her fingers with the nail on and send it off to the lab to see if there's any DNA. I mean, it's a shot in the dark. And unfortunately, nothing.
You led me down that whole disgusting, grotesque rabbit hole for nothing.
I know. It seems that way. But here's the thing.
Body.
Here's the way the media really helps in solving these types of cases.
Yes.
These police, these sheriff's office in Columbia County, Wisconsin, were smart enough to say, you know what? Curtis lives here. We're going to release it to the media that we are going to exhume this body and look for DNA evidence.
And then we're going to watch him, see if he moves out.
And we're going to see what happens, what he does. So that was really, really smart.
Yes.
Forward thinking on their part.
Very.
And they put a tap on his phone.
Okay.
Now, even though they knew that they didn't have any DNA evidence.
He didn't know.
He didn't know.
Nope.
And they released to the media that they had gotten DNA evidence and they were waiting on the results.
These cops are brilliant.
They were very smart.
Very smart. Don't murder in Wisconsin. They're going to cut you.
They're going to get you.
Mm-hmm.
So once that was released, Curtis, his little phone activity kind of bumps up. Yeah, and he actually starts planning to fake his own death.
What?
Yeah.
Curtis?
Yeah.
Is he telling Debbie?
No, but he called somebody in Hawaii and he's like trying to,
hey, I'm going to come visit you.
Trying to go down a raft on a thing, and there's like a whole
From
thing.
Wisconsin, he's going to go on a raft to Hawaii?
No, he was going to go down he was going to tell people he wanted it released that's how he died.
Oh.
Right. He had a whole plan, but the police were like, no, we're gonna go pick you up. We need to talk to you, Curtis.
Before you fake your own death, we'd like to speak with you.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So they bring him in and they ask him questions, and he just denies. He's like, nope, I didn't have anything to do with her death. Wasn't me. I didn't have anything to do with her death. So the police decide we're going to go and talk to Debbie. Because they have recently found out that this girl, Lori, whose house, he went to this girl, Lori's house.
Oh, that's
first,
right, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Debbie had actually called Lori and said that she had seen blood on Curtis's shirt.
Oh, dear.
And he had asked her to wash his shirt because it had blood on it.
Lori did?
Debbie.
Debbie said that to Lori.
Right.
Okay.
And Lori thought Debbie had reported it to the police, but she never did.
She forgot.
So the police then go back to Debbie and say, hey, Lori remembers you said this. And Debbie comes clean and says, yeah, I did. I did see blood on his shirt. But I didn't think anything of it, And yeah.
Really? You didn't think anything of it? When your friend was just brutally murdered just a few houses down from you.
It's a little bit of a...
You had no idea.
Yeah.
Debbie, you're dumb. Debbie dumber.
Right. Well, and the fact that she had seen the blood on the shirt, and then
Watched
eventually married him.
Well, after he left town suddenly and then came back.
Right.
Debbie does not have a good memory. I think we need to have it tested.
She's
She's ditzy Debbie.
a little ditzy Debbie. So it's not a lot.
No, it's not a lot.
Shirt, but it is enough for them to arrest Curtis.
I know, but if Debbie is married to him, they can't make her testify against him.
They can, because she was not married at the time of the crime.
Oh my gosh, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Debbie says, sure, I'll testify against him.
Maybe he wasn't that good of a lover.
And I think maybe she's trying to get her to stay out of trouble, too.
Well, yeah. And maybe he's just not fulfilling her needs.
Maybe not, because, I don't know, Curtis. He's something. So he goes to jail, all right?
Okay.
And Debbie, he calls Debbie, of course, because they're married, and they're having a phone conversation. Everybody knows that the phones are tapped in jail. Like, people listen to your conversations.
I don't think people know.
Oy, oy.
Oi, oi, oi.
Right. So Debbie says, listen, Curtis, I got to get my facts straight, and I have to protect myself. And he's like, you're just going about it all wrong. And she says, but I remember the blood on the shirt. And he said, and I will explain that later, but not over the phone.
Huh.
But what he didn't say was, what blood on the shirt?
Yeah, exactly.
So he confirmed for them there was blood on the shirt.
Yes.
And that was enough to charge him with first-degree murder.
Wow, that's not a lot.
It is not a lot, which is just, when you think about the cases that have gone through the court system.
That we've had so much, and they haven't gone anywhere.
Exactly.
And
now, for this case, there are no fingerprints.
No DNA.
No DNA evidence.
We just have DNA ruling out people, but nobody's ruled in.
We think that he could have dropped some hair, but we're not 100% sure. But they take him to trial. The DA says because he did not say what blood on what shirt, what are you talking about?
Well, and originally, so it's not just that. Originally, he also had holes in his story.
Right.
That the two women, they kind of shot holes into his story.
Yes.
And the fact that he abruptly left town.
Yes.
It's all circumstantial, but it still doesn't look good for him.
No.
But I just don't see anything concrete.
No.
Like, you don't have the shirt.
No.
You don't have the blood.
No. It was all circumstantial.
Yeah.
And damn if the jurors didn't find him guilty.
Well, I'm glad for that.
And they, and every single day of the court case, Christopher and Lane sat in the courtroom and listened.
I'm sure.
They were there the entire time.
I'm sure they were.
So Curtis was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not a very common, it just doesn't happen to go.
It just
doesn't happen.
I mean,
so
I know it's life in prison, but couldn't it be like life in prison and we're going to beat you up every day?
Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah, like life in prison just sounds life in prison. And I know it's not an easy life. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to go. But I just always want to say life in prison and
exactly.
We're going to punch you in the nose every day.
Right. We're going to.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Right. So, and you would think maybe when he appealed, there were a lot of people working on an appeal because they said it was all circumstantial.
Yeah.
How can you sentence him for a murder? But the original circuit court in 2011 denied his request for an appeal.
Okay.
And then in 2013, the Wisconsin Supreme Court got the request for appeal. They read through everything, all of the transcripts from the court, everything that the people had submitted on his behalf and letters about what a great citizen he was. And the Supreme Court in 2013 said, no. Denied. You're going to stay right in jail. So that's where he is.
Where's Debbie?
Debbie is still living in Wisconsin. She has taken back her maiden name. And
does she live in that town still?
She does, and she just doesn't go out very often. She stays to herself.
Really?
Yeah.
Lord have mercy, Debbie. Come on.
I know.
Come on. Get it together.
Unbelievable.
Right.
It's hard for me to believe that Debbie didn't know
something.
Yeah.
But, I mean, maybe she's just a ditzy Debbie.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't either.
But, wow, what a story.
I know.
I mean,
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. That's a lot of circumstantial.
I haven't done Wisconsin a little bit. And I'll tell you, I found that story on a new show that's going on Oxygen called Exhumed.
I have seen the advertisement, the advertisement.
Yeah.
For our UK friends. Advertisement.
And both of them, actually, the first one that was on there was about a cold case murder. But this jackass murdered his first ex-wife because she left him. Mm-hmm. But there was no evidence. It happened in 1973, and they couldn't tie anything back, and they didn't know what to look for.
Right.
But then 3 years later, his new ex-wife mysteriously
disappeared?
Dies.
Oh, dies. Okay.
She's found face down in a bathtub.
Oh, heavens.
And, of course, he spawns children with each, and then leaves them without mothers.
Yes.
And
jackass.
They were able to go back and exhume this girl's body again.
Was that Peterson guy?
No.
What was that dude's name?
I can't remember.
Not Scott Peterson, but another guy.
Yeah, the cop. The ex-cop.
Yeah, the ex-cop. That's
him.
not him. Mm-mm. It's a different one.
Yeah, and this guy he killed the second ex-wife the same way he killed the first ex-wife. So they exhumed the first ex-wife's body again. Her coffin was sitting in water, but it had just started to seep through, so it was only like the bottom of her feet. Mm-hmm. Well, she had all the trauma to her head and had been strangled the same way, but in 1973, they just didn't know what they were looking for. No. And they were able to get him, and he's spending the rest of his life behind bars.
Wow.
And now there are, 2 children out there without mothers and a dad in jail because he's a jackass. His first name was Doyle. I don't remember what his last name was.
Okay. Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot.
It's a good show. It's a good news show. Interesting. If you can stomach
I can't stomach
being exhumed thing.
But
they don't show, the bodies.
If I'm trying not to eat, that's a good show for me to watch.
It's a real,
Yeah, because it does make me queasy just thinking about it.
Yeah. Well, I won't get you any cake. I don't want you to be
sick. No. I'm hungies. Murder gives me an appetite.
Oh,
an appetite for treats, not an appetite for murder.
Oh, well, why don't I cut us a slice of cake, and while I'm doing that, maybe you could talk about something
social media.
Oh my God, social media.
Oh my gosh, we have social media.
We do.
Okay, so
it's because we have a podcast.
We're podcasters. Okay, so I want you to know, first of all, we have joined the TikTok craze. Which I have to say
kids are not happy.
No. Oh my God. You just have no idea. I've been lectured.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, we're under Sugar Coated Murder podcast or Sugar Coated Murder. I don't know what my TikTok name is, but it's Sugar Coated Murder is what I told them. So I'm hoping that's what it is. I don't know how to tick or talk.
Yeah, I was going to say, do we even know how to do that yet?
It's all video stuff, but it's like short videos. Oh, okay. So I did release one episode with our little audiogram on it today to just see if I could get anybody interested in giving a crap about us.
Yeah, so it'll be kind of funny just to even...
Yeah, so if you're on TikTok, can you find us and follow us, please? It just would be a little bit of an ego boost just to have a follower. So... Anyway, we also are on Instagram. We're up to 853 followers on Instagram. Wow. I know. I'm so impressed.
It's amazing.
And that's at Sugar Coated Murder. That's easy. We have Facebook. We have a Facebook group.
Oh, right.
And it's called Sugar Coated Murder Fan Page Group. Look at us. Oh, wait. You're just going to eat?
Oh, sorry. You were talking.
I know, but we do this together.
I know, I'm so sorry.
We have email, as Ann is chewing, and that is
murder.sugarcoated@gmail.com.
And we would love to hear from you. And then we don't really have it. Well, we have a link tree that we put on Facebook all the time.
Yeah.
You can use that link tree. And it's in the bio of our Instagram. You can use that link tree.
Yeah.
You can buy some really awesome merch, which face masks, they're all the rage. We have lots of face masks for sale. And we also have lots of cool merch, some really cool coffee mugs and stuff like that. And then there's all the links to like the major platforms where you can listen to us, Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, blah, blah, blah. You can also ask Alexa. Is Alexa plugged in?
Yeah.
Alexa, play Sugar Coated Murder podcast.
Getting Sugar Coated Murder from Amazon Music.
See what
the latest episode.
See what happened.
Epi number 44, Very Vanilla Cupcake.
Look at that.
So that's what happened. Okay. No. Alexa, turn that off. But anyway, that's proof that if you heard that, that's proof that you can ask her to play exactly what I just said. So there's no reason that you're not finding us. But if you're listening to us, you found us.
You did. You found us. Congratulations.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Keep listening and keep supporting us and keep sending us all your love because we love your love.
We love love.
We love love and we love friends.
Yeah.
And we love, I'm going to have some apple cake because Ann already ate some.
I did. It's really delicious.
Oh my God.
It reminds me kind of the consistency of a banana bread.
Mm-hmm.
The flavors are just amazing.
Oh, y'all
and the
don't
bourbon
have any idea. I didn't get ice cream with it like I was told I was getting.
Dang it.
But it's just typical.
I'm so sorry.
Don't worry. My next slice I'll have some. So anyway, just remember, if you kill people, we will talk about you.
Yeah.
So stay sweet.
And don't murder.
Lord have mercy, no. And a big shout out to anybody having a birthday in January. You should go to the fan page and receive your gift.
Hey, I have a birthday in January.
OMG.
I know.
You should go to the fan page.
I'm going to go see what my gift is right now.
Right now.
Yes.
Exactly. Well, guys, we love you to pieces.
We do.
And we'll see you soon. We'll hear you soon. Well, y'all will hear us. All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Believe. You can show support to your host by subscribing to the show and giving us a 5-star rating on your preferred platform. Check us out at Believe.com and search for BLEAV on YouTube.